Welcome, Blackbirds. You asked for clarity, and we are here to deliver. I am Sydney Walker, the Public Relations Officer of the Guild of Students, and here with me is Ariane S. Richardson, the Postgraduate Representative. Joining us today, we have the Registrar and the Deputy Principal, who are here to answer all our questions. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. So here we are today to pose the most pressing questions to you from the student body. We collected a survey, and this is the compilation of the general idea of what the students wish to understand. So for the first question, they would like clarification on the current leave of absence policy and how does it affect their ability to participate in classes and coursework and do their final examinations.
Right.
The leave of absence basically is used at this point as a mechanism to capture data on those students who requested to leave the campus. We're all in the suspension period now. So it really doesn't matter significantly because basically campus is closed at this point. But we want to capture initially those students who were leaving, who requested to leave, and therefore we use that policy. It will not impact on any aspect of your study. I know you have only 3 or 4 leaves allowed for every student, and that will not be counted as one. So it's not something that you have to worry about. But we want to capture the information of all the students who are leaving the campus at this point in time, especially overseas students, basically, to see where they were going. Yeah?
Right. Okay. Yes. And so is there a penalty for not completing the leave of absence form?
At this point, no, but we would like to still capture the information because it then gives us a good idea of who basically would have applied for leave to leave the campus. Okay. Because we have overseas students who are not on the house and therefore they're out in the community, and we would like to get all that information so that we can process it, basically see how many students would have left and that sort of thing. Yeah?
And just like to add as well too, if you do leave, it allows the university to have information on where you are, where you've traveled to. Remember, all students, once you pay your amenities fee, are covered by your health insurance.
Sure.
But you need to let the health insurance provider know where you are traveling to. So it's a fundamental requirement to be covered under the health insurance plan.
So far, if any student has traveled without completing this leave of absence form, is it possible for them to rectify it while they're away currently?
Yes,
most faculties have the form online, so they could just complete the form online and email it back to their faculty.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So as the registrar mentioned, we are currently in the suspension period right now, but students have been receiving conflicting emails from some of their lecturers and so forth. Can you clarify what exactly the suspension period entails?
All right, so there essentially 2 levels in regards to the suspension. Essentially, it means that for all face-to-face classes, those are suspended for 2 weeks until the 6th of April. Then after the 6th of April, then the classes will restart using the online format. For classes, however, that have been taught using online platforms, so for example, our MBA programs are taught online, or law program is taught online, those will continue even over the 2-week suspension period. So the suspension period covers those face-to-face classes, and then they will convert to online classes after the suspension period.
Okay. So considering the fact that the suspension period is in place, will the semester be essentially extended or pushed back, and what would be the repercussions of that?
Yeah, by definition, it means that the semester will have to be pushed forward a little bit. And it would have implications for examination or the examination period as well. But that information will be communicated to students in time, in the future. Yeah.
Okay. So students are very curious to find out how exactly these classes and examinations will be facilitated. And I know the general idea is that it will be a combination of the open campus and the online platforms. Can you further elaborate on that, please?
Well, the KFL campus already has a number of platforms that they can utilize. So I'll cover the first one. The e-learning platform and Blackboard Collaborate already allows for students to take these courses either using the video format, using video conferencing, or they could just use where lecturers can upload their slides with video voiceover on these slides. The other format is that you can utilize Office 365, which comes with Teams. And Teams allows you to have sort of like a Zoom meeting for you to have your classes using that online that face-to-face format that you would have missed if you were in the classroom. So you can use any of those formats. I'm glad that you mentioned the open campus, however, because one of the benefits of going to UWI is that you have more than one campus that you can attend. So for example, if you want to take a course via the open campus, all you have to do is you have to make sure that you find a course that has the same course code and course name as the one that you want to register for here at the CAFL campus. You let your faculty know, and once you let your faculty know that you intend to take this course via the open campus, you can then register for that course via the open campus, and it will be added to your transcript when you finish that course.
Okay, so on that same note, what happens if the course that they need to specifically undertake isn't available at the open campus?
Well, then you simply have a conversation with your head of department or your academic advisor, and they would advise you further.
Okay.
And all of these individuals are available via, you can call them over the telephone, or you can just email them, and they'll give you the advice that you need.
Okay. So in that case, what is going to happen to the countries that don't currently have an open campus? Testing in particular.
Oh, right. So, for example, in regards to testing, the University of West Indies has agreements with many educational institutions and other institutions as well to act as testing centers. So even if you're not within the Caribbean, we have already made agreements with the institutions around the world to sort of proctor the exams. That's the word that we use, to proctor the exams, or essentially to invigilate the exams if you're not in Barbados.
Okay. So the students would also like some elaboration on why summer school in particular was cancelled and what would happen to the third years who are depending on summer school to graduate.
The difficulty at this stage is planning down the road for the exam period, for example. And it's better to cancel that because we may need to use that period to ensure that persons who were on the verge of graduating also get a chance to graduate. So we don't want to have a period in there which kind of complicates matters. And if you're going to be pushing the semester down, it means we can take up some of that space. And more than likely, we'll not be able to produce the results of exams in a timely manner for people to do the summer school. So we're going to use that period for other things, basically, as we go forward. And the examination period may be in that period. Yeah?
All right. So students are also very worried of the possibility that they may have to redo this semester. Is there any reassurances you can give them? And if it is an instance where they do have to, they would want to know if they would be financially liable to cater to that semester?
No, once we've started the course already for this semester, you're going to continue the course after April 6th. And we're going to have an exam for that course after April 6th is ready. So you're not going to have to redo the semester, and that would not be a consideration that we're looking at this present moment in time.
And there's a couple of weeks left for the semester, so it's not you have to do 10 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever. It's about 3 weeks that's going to be left basically to complete.
Yeah.
So we don't expect that will take up that much time to complete, basically.
Okay.
Okay. For those who are going back home, or for even local students who have trouble accessing internet, after April 6th, courses are supposed to be going online, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
For those who do have trouble accessing internet or computers and laptops, is there anything that they can do at the present time to inform you of this? Or what plans do you have in place for persons who have trouble accessing internet and computers?
Well, one of the best things that you can do is just let your academic advisor or your head of department know. So if that is the issue, just let them know. But one of the good things about the UWI that I mentioned before is that we have open campus sites throughout the entire Caribbean.
Yeah.
And we'll be working together to get through this period of time. But just let your academic advisor know, and we'll take care of that problem.
We're also going to be doing a survey shortly, basically for the student body to indicate if they have access. We have difficulties with providing the email access and those things. So be aware of any students who may have that difficulty beforehand.
Okay.
I think Justin was about to have that completed so we can issue it to students.
Okay. The students would also like to know when they can expect the plans for the faculties for transferring to the online platforms.
Okay, it's at this point in time that I need to get a little bit technical. So I'll try to do this as simply as possible. So whenever you get a University of West Indies degree, you get a degree from the UWI. It doesn't say UWI Cayfield campus, it says UWI. So therefore, our regulations are guided by the UWI, and that all of these regulations therefore are driven by the Vice Chancellor and the PVC of the Board for Undergraduate Studies and the PVC of the Board for Graduate Studies and Research. So we therefore have to be consistent with what the other campuses are doing. So that is why you haven't seen any of the other campuses come out with any plans in terms of examination or testing or anything like that, because we all are going to come up with a consistent plan in regards to testing. Now, we know that students are going to have difficulties in regards to testing within a single room. Some classes have 300 and 400 students, and due to social distancing, we can't have a space large enough that would allow us to do face-to-face testing. So we are considering a number of different avenues to allow students to engage in or to complete their examinations using various types of platforms. Online testing, submitting assignments online, those type of things are being considered. But we're going to come out in a very consistent way as a UWI approach to addressing this problem of testing.
Okay.
So Sydney mentioned the different faculties, and we know one of the faculties that has a unique situation would be medical sciences. Is there anything that we can say to those students right now to kind of ease their mind if they were trying to go home, because we know they have a summer semester as well, their testing is different. So is there anything that we can tell them, the ones who are planning to go home, you know, to ease their mind a little bit until their plan is solidified and distributed to them?
The faculty is now working through some of the logistics for the clinical part of that program, but the first part basically is going to be treated the same way as other teaching modules. But they have to work through the challenges with actually having some clinical work done with those clinical years. So that is what they're still working through. And when they finish, they will submit the plan so that the students are fully on board in what is happening.
Okay, so for those who are intending to travel home, should they go? Should they stay?
They should, but I would advise them initially to wait until we give them some more information at this point, because I think the dean said they were meeting today to finalize their plan. So by the end of the day, we should be able to give you more information on that.
The end of today?
Yeah.
Okay, because there are some students who are having issues with getting home. Borders are closing, and so different routes have to be taken. And going through the U.S. proves to be a challenge for some because they don't have U.S. visas. So flights are trying to be chartered, and they're only going on one day, so they need the information as quickly as possible. So I guess we can reassure them by the end of today that something will be in place.
Okay. Thank you for your answers thus far. We focused on the students that are leaving, and now we need to pay some attention to the students that will be remaining on campus. So one of the most pressing concerns is what accommodations will be made for the students remaining on the halls of residence. So the services that we are privy to right now, meaning security, regular cleaning, and so forth, will they continue for them?
That will continue. We are not. We are still working normally on the campus.
Yes,
we just reduce the numbers of people who come in every day, but they provide the same services for.
And they're also curious as to what other buildings and services across campus will be accessible to them, meaning the cafeteria, the bookstore, the library, the computer lab, so forth.
The University of West Indies has not shut down. So I'm still coming to work every day. The registrar is coming to work every day. And all of the offices are still going to be open. And we are going to ensure that all the support services for students remain available to students as well.
All right.
In fact, libraries will be open Monday to Saturday, basically from 9 till 5 every day. So they're still available.
As well as the
computer labs are going to be available. What else we have available?
Support facilities, all these support facilities.
Because the only place that we close on the classrooms. Because we're going to clean those
Some of
properly
the classrooms.
and basically have them until we're ready to use them again going forward.
Okay. So there was a special concern coming from the non-nationals because, as you know, we don't have the same access to the healthcare as the local students. So they wanted to know if they'll be fully covered by the UWI's health insurance should they remain here, especially in the case of contracting the coronavirus.
Well, we asked this specific question to our insurers, and they said yes.
Look at it go.
Simple.
Look at that answer. Okay. So one of the last concerns coming from the halls in particular was concerning the storage of the items, primarily because, as Arian said, some students have already left, and so forth, their rooms are unpacked and all, and some of us are looking to depart the island. And some received emails concerning fees for the storage. Some of these emails were recalled, so we kind of want to know what's the standard procedure for halls when it comes to that right now.
So we're going to utilize a very similar approach. So all we are requiring students to do is pack their items neatly in boxes, suitcases, barrels, whatever the case may be. Just pack them neatly, and you can leave them in the room, or if possible, you can contact our staff and have them stored for you. So the same facilities that you would have utilized in the past, you can utilize now. But just store the stuff neatly. That is all we're asking at this point in time.
Okay.
Because once you inform the halls that you're leaving, they will take whatever action they need to store your belongings when you leave. As we normally do every semester when people go home and that sort of thing. So.
I think one of the most important parts of what she was asking is the fee portion of that, as well as students who are leaving, they're wondering if they are going to be refunded for the time that they're not going to be here. That's something that wasn't clear in the emails that were sent out. So is that something that we can clarify right now?
I think
that's something we need to check, because I know they top prorating some of the fees for those students who left early.
Right.
But that hasn't been finalized, so we'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for answering our questions so far. We really appreciate it. And we know our Blackbirds were itching to hear from administration, so thank you for delivering.
You're welcome.
Joining us shortly will be our esteemed Guild President, Ms. Thatcher Loughton, to give her opinions on the matters. And we're back, Blackbirds. Thank you again to the Registrar and to the DP for answering all our questions and queries today. Now we have our Guild President, Ms. Thatcher Loughton, with a message for the Blackbirds.
So I must extend my gratitude to our registrar and our deputy principal as well. And deputy principal and registrar, I just want to assure our Blackbirds that the Guild of Students is working expeditiously to ensure accurate information is disseminated to you straight from administration. We understand that you are all worried and many of you may be panicking, but we advise you to be patient and take the necessary precautions and await information to make informed decisions. We will be working closely with administration to do as much as we can to reassure and provide for you, our Blackbirds.
As the Guild motto states, together we can make it happen. Take care.